Here we go. All right, guys. Today is the 12th Sunday. Markets are not open right now, but we are going to do a quick little breakdown on these current chip pairs that we are looking at this week. Looking at gold. Let's start with gold. I'm looking at buys on gold. Why? We had a huge bearish push, right? This is the sell off that we've been saying for a long time. This is your external high. This is your external low, right? The previous before, boom, had the bullish push. This is your internal high. This is your internal low on this. Price is bullish. Price failed to create a new external low. And you see here, did not close below. Yes, it wicked. It wicked and took out these lows, but did not close bearish. So we're having that bullish push again. And you see we're creating new highs in the market on the daily. We filled, pushed, we had resistance at this strong area of interest. Going down to our 4 hour here, as you can see, a little bit more action, a little bit more clarity, a little bit better than the daily. And you can see once again, here's that huge daily push to the downside. There's that wick. We're starting to create high. This is a high, that lower high. This is a lower low. We finally broke as your high here. So as you're marking, now we're only looking in this solid area as we have made a new high in the market. This is your previous high. This is your new high. And so this is going to be your external high and your external low because this is your higher high and this is your higher low, right? And then inside of the market, once again, this is your internal high because inside of your externals, you need your internals. Remember, that's something that we always do. We know we always mark our externals, we always mark our internals. External high, external low, internal high, internal low, right? We have an inverted head and shoulders. We have a one leg breakout. Here's your pullback. Here's your second leg breakout, right, guys? So what are we doing? We're waiting for the second leg pullback back into our decisional. We have our imbalance. We have our target. Our imbalance right here on the lower time frames, which we'll get to, is right here, right? This black box is our daily area of interest. Let's go back to the daily quick. You can see daily across the board. It's just we know that anything below this black box is now sells. If it breaks below and closes below this black box, we are no longer looking for the buys. We are walking away, right? That's what that black box is right there. We have it's inside of an area of interest. You can see we have a lower time frame area of interest right here as well. And we have two lower time frame targets to look for our buys. So you can either wait to get above your decisional or you can wait for these imbalances to be filled, our entry signal, and then take it through our decisional. Going down to the 1 hour, you can see once again, there's a little bit of imbalance right here, which has been fine tuned to the 15. We have a lot of structure. We have an inverted head and shoulders. We have a breakout, and we have a continuation, and we have a pullback, right? We're just waiting for price to then fill this imbalance that it's been left. Let's go to the 15. Once again, here you can see 15-minute balance, 15-minute imbalance. Very strong area of interest. Once again, if it does break below this black box, we are no longer interested in the buys. All we're waiting for is price to come all the way back down, fill this imbalance. It either has the rejection off the decisional or it has the rejection off of these imbalances down here. And quite frankly, I am going to be patiently waiting for my entry inside of these imbalances. I don't need to take this entry up here because if it has the rejection off here, that's not what I was looking for. What I'm looking for is price to break, take out the imbalance down below, have a rejection off this area of interest down here, retest the original neckline of our area or our head and shoulders right here, right? Look at this. This is the original neckline area. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for price to fill our imbalance, fill our targets, have the rejection, give us our entry signal, and then blow up and create a new high, right? Going back to the daily, you can see that we're targeting, we're looking to fill this whole volume here. This is a swing trade. We're looking to swing gold up to these highs. Okay. Now, looking at silver, look at the same correlation. Okay. They both need to have a bullish push, right? They're both technically bearish with this huge bearish pullback, bearish push to the downside, but they both need a bullish retracement, a bullish push. Maybe we don't take it all the way up. Maybe we only take it here. At this point, it's still a 1 to 6. Like this is just like what we're thinking that it could possibly go to. But in reality, our take profit will probably be right around this range here. And so we don't get stopped or, have the rejection, have the huge pullback. And then the following week, we take the next trade to break through so we don't have to hold over the weekend. Okay. But back to silver here. Same thing. And we just need to pull back to the buys. We had a huge bear sell off. Price is rejecting. We're having a new high in the market, lower time frame, of course. Boom, boom, pull back, boom, double bottom, breakout, pullback, breakout. This is the second breakout on our two-leg protocol. We're waiting for the pullback. We'll go to the 4 hour. Okay, look at what do you see right here? Right? Breakout, breakout, boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's the same thing. We're just playing the breakout off of head and shoulders. This is just the neckline right here. We're looking for this neckline. Now, you may ask, oh, you haven't balanced down here. Why are you not targeting that imbalance like you're doing on gold? Well, quite frankly, this imbalance doesn't make sense to target. If price gets this low, I'm not interested. So there's a chance that I would wait, and I am going to wait. If it breaks below our decisional down here and does all this and bounces around in here, I am going to wait until it gets back above. And once it breaks above, once it has that breakout above, I'm looking to enter on the breakout. I'm not waiting for a certain whatever. I'm waiting for a breakout to the upside and a retest. That's all I'm waiting for. I'm not as soon as we have our setup, soon as it's above, boom, breakout, close, higher time frame close, like a 4 hour or a 1 hour candlestick close. We're waiting for the pullback back into our decisional, back into our area of interest, back into our original BOS. That's when I'm taking the trade. Stops will be below all this structure that's going to be created down here. And boom. All right. Same thing as gold. These are correlated. They're very correlated. They both have volume that needs to go upside. Now look at gold. Silver it only is a 1 to 2.5, and gold is a 1 to 8, potentially a 1 to 8. Okay. Silver is hard to trade. It's not hard to trade. It's just cost more. It's more expensive to trade. All right. Next one is USD JPY. So on USD JPY, I have two setups. I'm either looking for the buys or I'm looking for the sells. Why? Well, both options are very plausible. You have your head and shoulders on the daily. You have a nice rejection here at 4 hour decisional, right? There's a good chance that this breaks, has the next, and takes out these highs right here, right? There's a good chance that it breaks above, retests, takes out these highs. There's also a good chance that it doesn't, and there's a good chance that it continues to the downsides to fill some of this weekly candles, this weekly bullish push. Daily is technically, let's see, daily is technically bearish, right? Daily's bearish. 4 hour is bearish. Actually, 4 hour is bullish as of now. So buys still are very possible as well. On this buy here from last week, I actually wanted to see these highs getting swept. I would prefer to see buys. I would prefer to see buys take over. So overall, I'm more excited for the buys, but only to this level here. Like I'm not, this would be like my max TP here. So I would want to see hopefully a 15-minute lower time frame setup, go down to the 15-minute here. We have imbalance to the downside that needs to be taken. You can see right there, some imbalance right here that needs to be taken on the 15. Some imbalance right here that needs to be taken on the 15 as well, right? There is a lot of targets, a lot of risk. I wouldn't mind seeing a pullback, fill this imbalance, a push, a retest, and then a takeout. And then I would be looking for, once again, just a small little something something out of here, which is still a very large trade. They said it's still a 1 to 2, 1 to 3 at least. If you got, depending on your stop loss, you get a 1 to 6 on this trade. So I am more excited about the buys because, like I said last week, I was in the buys and I actually wanted to see this whole high get taken out. But you got to consider higher time frames. Are we looking to take the sell? We have a daily head and shoulders, right? But we don't really have many targets to the downside. We have a daily EMA. I do think this is just a fake out. I think we are going to continue to the upside. And I think we are going to take these highs. Okay. That's what I'm thinking about for USD JPY. I'm mainly focused on the buys, but if it does, an opportunity does present itself for the sells, I would have to have price obviously sell down, fill these imbalances, create a new low, a new low in the market here, because this is your higher high, this is your higher low, right? Boom, new low on the 4 hour, have a retest, have a rejection off our SMT zone here, and then have the next low created to give us our one leg pullback, two leg pullback, grab this entry, and then I'd be looking to take out these lows, potentially retesting this daily area of interest. So the buys is a quick setup. The buys are what's setting up next. But if the buys do not work out, it would be a late in the week, probably Wednesday, maybe Thursday trade sell just to sweep these lows back into this daily area of interest right here. So two setups, two opportunities. What one is going to play out? So be ready for what you think is best important. Like I said, I personally want to see the buy continuation, but I'm well aware of what would happen if the sells take place and this buy doesn't happen and sells do take over. So I'm ready for both setups here. Both are great opportunities. All right, next one is AUDCHF. At this one, I'm looking for the buys as well. We left some imbalance to the downside. We have a left head, right shoulder setting up, so there's a good chance that it comes up, creates that new high, has that fake out, pulls back, retests their original BOS, and right here is going to then produce an SMT zone, right? Because sellers are going to be trying to push this down. Let me get rid of this black line here, right? Let's start over one more time so it makes a little bit more sense. I'm looking for the buys off of this imbalance, off of a 4 hour decisional, off of our daily black zone, right? If it breaks below this, I'm no longer interested. I like the thought of the buys. I think this is a fake out head and shoulders. I think it's fake. I think we're going to continue to the upside. Why? Because we have been for weeks. This is just trend continuation. So going back to the daily, again, I do think we need a pullback. I do think we need a pullback, which would then bring our EMAs up, which would then, like I said, have the pullback to then have the next bullish continuation. So going on the 4 hour, I think this is a fake out head and shoulders. I don't think you need to be worried about it. I think it's just market structure faking you out because sellers are right here looking to sell into this imbalance. So once again, left head, and I think this is going to break and it's going to create that fake out where we're like, okay, now we're setting up for head and shoulders. And we're going to see the price push up here. And then I think it's going to come back just a little bit because sellers are going to be pushing this down very hard. But I think it's going to fake you out. And then we're going to have the continuation to the upside. And this would be a fake head and shoulders, which would mean this is an SMT zone. So I'm actually looking for price to pull back into our decisional, 4 hour decisional, to fill this 1 hour imbalance. I think it's a 1 hour. I might even have it down to the 15 already. Let's see here. So 15 is even smaller right here. Add it down to the 1 hour. That's your 15-minute imbalance. Stops below, right? Stops below, but I'm looking for this to fill, take this out, then take a buy all the way down. I think the 4 hour just needs to sell off. I think this is a slow burner. I think this is going to take a while. It'll take all week, probably Wednesday, Thursday, we might see this. We might even see it tomorrow. Scalp down into the swing? No. I mean, you can. If it gives it to you, you can. Because there's no guarantee it's going to come all the way down here. Because if you take the scalp, you're going to be looking to take profit down here. This trade might only come to here and reverse, and then we miss it. I will not be taking the buys on this unless it comes all the way down to our decisional. So I mean, you can if you want to take that risk to take the scalp down. Personally, I don't think it's worth the risk. I think it's safer to wait for the setup because you could take the scalp and it can literally there's look at all these zones that it could reject off on the lower time frame. Let's go to the 1 hour here. Like there's a strong 1 hour area of interest right here, and it could sit here. I mean, I would if you were to take the scalp, I would wait for it. You know, I would if you're gonna take the scalp, I would wait because here's your head and shoulders. I would wait for it to break and retest at least this area of interest, and then look to take maybe like a 1 to 2 out of here. Maybe a 1 to 2 out of there, something quick, something easy like that. Go to break even. Have your like your low here. This is your break even point. If you're gonna scalp it, you got to make sure you're on top of it. So watching it, making sure you're babysitting it a little bit. But I can see the scalp. It's possible, but for me, I'm just not gonna take the risk. I would rather save my capital for the big trade. But yeah, if you're gonna take a scalp, wait for the break below this 1 hour, wait for the retest, and then take it off of that to the downside to fill this imbalance into your decisional. Have your break even strong. But I like the buy setups on AUD CHF here. Put this there. Someone terrible drawer. Let's start again. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. That's what I'm looking for on AUD CHF. Next one is Euro AUD here. So these are a couple of them I haven't drawn up yet. Why? Because I see something and I wanted to have your guys' opinion on here too and to see if you see the same thing. But on this, right, what I'm seeing is a 4 hour area of interest, a target, which is a neckline. We have a new high created in the market. We're having a pullback, right, back into our area of interest, which is also, let me see if I can draw this good. Your area of interest right there. See how I draw a little bit of a box there. And then price is looking to retest and have the buy. Once again, let me draw it realistically. So this is your high. This is your low. This is your external high. This is your external low, right? Internal. We'll grab this 4 hour imbalance right here. I think price had the high, created a new high in the market, external high, external low, right? Boom, boom, broke, external high, external low. And I think price needs a 50% chance, 50% chance, 50% retracement. There it is. 50% retracement, which would be around this imbalance zone. This is actually about 75, give or take. It's a little bit more. EMA is above, so we have the push to the downside. I think we need this imbalance filled to then have the next continuation to the leg up. Looking at the daily, you see how that makes kind of sense there? It's the same level as this area of interest right here. Anything below this black box is uh, not good. Let's go like that. Anything below this black box, we don't want anything to do with. So what we could do is look to buy, take the buys out of here, stops below our black box, look to take the next high, get your 1 to 3, and there's your swing. Now, this is a swing trade, right? We're literally just playing trend continuation. That's all we're playing. Look at all the imbalance we need to fill back. I don't like this here. So this is one of those trades that I'm like, it's there, but I'm not really excited about, but it's a good possibility. It doesn't really follow all of our rules to a T. But we're playing a breakout. This is basically your indication. Here's your correction. And now we're just having the completion. Okay. The price has indicated that it is potentially bullish. We're having the correction to come back to fill all the imbalance that is left behind, fill all those targets, and then potentially have the next continuation of push. Boom, to the upside. Okay. I kind of like it. It's just kind of one of those things. It's all right. I'll watch it. All right. Next one is GBP NZD. Why? Let's see what I was looking at on this one. Looking at it again, I could see that I don't like it. I mean, I do a little bit. There's a little bit of imbalance there. What we can see is here. I do see a scalp. That's what I see. So you have your 4 hour. imbalance is decisional. There's your 4 hour decisional. One, two, three. Right, you can rip this to the left. Make it a little bit bigger if you want, something like this. Give or take. You have 4 hour imbalance right here. So we'll mark it and then fine tune it to the lower time frames. Mark it, fine tune it to the lower time frames. Like that. Imbalance. Okay. Go to the 1 hour. This is what I saw. Now I remember exactly why I saw it. Okay. Did this one get filled? A little bit. Let's mark it. Okay, it has been tagged, so I am gonna delete that. That imbalance has been tagged. When you high created in the market, right? Right there, left head, right shoulder, boom, created. Now we're looking at the pullback above our decisional. Look for an entry to then take out the next imbalance. Okay, something quick, something easy. Stops below. Ride that bad boy back up. Okay, something simple like that. Set your alarms just like that. That's why I liked this one. This one is a lower time frame swing. Lower time frame. This trade is going to be a day or two long. This is intraday, potentially a 2 dayer. It's going to happen quick. It's going to boom, and then it's going to push. If you miss the entry, it's not going to come back. Type trade. You either hit it or you don't. So looking on the 15-minute here, we can fine tune even more. Okay, we have an imbalance here. And then we have a scary imbalance down here. So now this is where you play it. Do you want to take your stops and put them below and only get a 1 to 2.5, which is still a phenomenal trade, a phenomenal risk to reward? Do you want to take it and risk missing it and look to shoot for this bottom imbalance down here? Wait for price to potentially break, hit this, break back above, have that retest, and then buy? Do you want to wait for price to break above, have that retest up here, right? And then you're looking to take this and adjust it and then take the buy at like this, give or take, take the buy off at this imbalance, but you want to wait for this one to fill. This is where it comes down to you. What do you want to see happen? Do you want to see price fill this lower imbalance and then shoot for this higher imbalance? Or do you want to price fill this lower imbalance, break it back above, boom? Or do you just want to take it off this higher imbalance like this and just have a large stop loss and go for a lower risk to reward? This is all preference. It's all about your patience. How do you want to wait? Do you want to wait for a better opportunity, a better risk to reward? Or do you want to wait? Okay, I just want to get in the trade. I know I'm gonna have a large stop loss. I'm okay with my 1 to 2, 2.5. It's still 2% up to 3%. That's still if you shoot for a 1 to 2.5, that's still 2.5% on one trade. On $100, that's $250 made. That's still phenomenal. So that you be the judge of that. GU and EU. Okay. So I haven't really broke these down yet because personally I think they're kind of ugly at the moment. I do see imbalance to the downside. These are in my B team trades. I'm actually going to put these on the bottom because they are actually kind of ugly. I do see potential sells down to the downside. As of now, we can go to EU and look at the same thing. Sells to the downside. But there's nothing for me on these two right here for me to break down for you guys because these are actually quite ugly. I am just going to keep them on the B team list just because that's one of our main pairs, and we'll look through them throughout the week. But if you want to do lower time frame scalps, we will have imbalance down in here for the 1 hour on GU, and we have imbalance down here on EU as well. So I would look to then scalp, like a lower time scalp, a couple minutes to scalp, take the sells, potentially fill this imbalance, and then I would get out. It would be literally I'd be in as fast as I can get out. You know what I mean? That's all it would be. So look into that. This is something I will look into tonight when market does open, wait how the market opens, see kind of what is setting up right now. I don't want to spend too much time on it because it is a scalp trade and any little thing can completely change the setup on it. So next one is AUD JPY. Go to the higher time frames. On this one, I am just kind of looking the same thing. All these are all roughly the same. Okay. AUD JPY, NZD CAD, NZD USD, and AUD USD. You see what they all have in common. Look at this big, tall gap on all of them. Okay. They all have a ton of imbalance. This is from news. What is it? 2 weeks ago or whatever, or a week ago or something on Tuesday. They all have some sort of gap. This one is not the same, but these all three have the same. And quite frankly, I don't have a setup on those yet. I am kind of just watching. I do see on NZD CAD here, we do have a head and shoulders pattern setting up. Let's go to our 4 hour. Um, Huge opportunities for the sells. I quite frankly just kind of want to see price do a little bit more throughout the week. This is something that we can break down midweek or every in the mornings when we do our morning Zooms. But as of now, it's just not something I'm very interested in. But I do have on my watch list to kind of keep in mind, just in case if it does break and create what we want to see down below, a new low in the market. Like for example, a new low here on the 4 hour would be nice to see price break below, have a little bit of a retest, and then potentially look to have even to these highs a sell off. Something quick, something easy on some of these pairs here. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for and looking at just to see if we can get some sort of fill. But as of now, it's too early to tell. They're pre-ready. They're putting their mouth guards in, they're tying their boot laces, and they're starting to warm up. But these ones are on the field. These ones are ready to tackle. So, but yeah, that is what I have for you guys this week. Let's take a quick peek at NAS. I haven't looked at it at all. I do have an inverted head and shoulders in the daily. It do look like imbalance to the downside needs to be filled. Let's delete this, delete this, delete this, delete that. New York high somewhere in there. Asia highs. I've been swept. Beautiful. Huge imbalance right here, and huge imbalance down here. 4 hour inverted head and shoulders. You see that beautiful left head, right shoulder, just like that. So our decisional would be obviously made right on top of here, give or take like that. Decisional, huge imbalance. Obviously, we're going to look for a sell position to the downside and then the continuation, or if it breaks below our decisional, we will look like for a sell continuation to the upside right there. Okay. Very quick, very easy. Bitcoin. I'm very adamant on Bitcoin longs now, guys. I have slowly been adding into my Bitcoin longs, just consistently every single week, rolling over some of my trading profits into Bitcoin longs. Just kind of stockpiling as the war potentially is coming to an end. I know there is some hearsay, or whatever they say, some BS going on with Trump and Iran and all that. So good chance that we could see even cryptos and tokens go even lower. It's all a very big possibility because we are at war. But I'd rather be safe than sorry. These are very good prices to slowly add if you haven't been adding into your long-term investments at these terrible prices. You're in the wrong. It's right now is a great opportunity to invest, even if it's $100, $50, $20. I don't even care. $5. It will go back up at some point in your lifetime. And I can guarantee that because we are always evolving, always adapting, always growing, and always getting bigger and stronger and more scientific. So do your research on your long terms. But like I said, I think I think we're heading into a crypto world where Bitcoin is as a new standard, and all that stuff. So do your research. Oil prices, I think, are going to skyrocket. Quite frankly, the U.S. is the number one selling in or is stock person in the U.S. now because they're blocking Iran off, making ships go to the U.S. to stock up. I heard that we have like 5 years of oil in reserves that we can supply the whole world with for 5 years. And that's just long enough to bankrupt Iran. So if that's the case, gas prices are going to continue to rise, oil prices are going to continue to rise. Life is going to get very, very, very expensive over the next couple of years. So, while prices are down before the housing market crashes, everything's going to crash. If this keeps happening, so stock up, be ready for it because after the crash, it's all uphill from here. All right, guys, that's what I have for you today. Thanks for showing up. I will get these uploaded and I will see you tomorrow morning bright and early for New York. All right, team. Peace out. Rest.